Hey everybody, it's Lebo with Lebo's Pinball. We are in part 2 of this wildlife game that we are fixing up. Uh, if you watched the video last time, you saw some of the struggles that we were going through to just trying to kind of troubleshoot some of the issues. We still got a little more of that to go, but the more that we play with this game and try it out, the more that it's coming to life. So um, some of the switches are still, even though I've cleaned them by scrubbing them, there's some grit that may be in there. There's some oil. I don't know. It could be something that's causing some intermittent issues. We're going to keep cleaning on it a little bit more, but today I'm going to go ahead and start shifting over, kind of off that a little bit, kind of go ahead and start cleaning some things out in this playfield. We've got all the rubbers here that need to be replaced, all the bands. I'm going to go with a silicone band. I actually got them ordered there, should have already been here, but now we got some shipping delays. But we're going to take care of all that, and we've got a flipper rebuild we'll end up redoing. And then also I'm going to probably address all these bulbs. I'd really like to go to LEDs on this one, but it's kind of undecided. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and start focusing on some cleaning here. So let's get going. So just sort of an initial look at the whole playfield. It's really not that bad. It's just kind of dirty in a lot of areas, and you've got some stuff to where, you know, like you got a little of the swirls and all that. We're going to try to scrub some of that out, but we just want to give it just a good general cleaning, make it look a lot better. A lot of the plastics have got a layer of dirt on them. That'll clean up pretty easily, but we want to also flatten them out. If you can look down here at this angle, you can see it's kind of curved. So we're gonna do a little trick to kind of flatten those between a couple pieces of glass, actually in an oven for just a short period of time. I'd really like to go put in some LEDs, but we will see on this. But I'm definitely got to go put in new bands. We've removed some of the ones that are already broken and just took them out. But let's get started on cleaning it up. All right, so it's starting to clean up a bit. I've been wiping the playfield down with naphtha, then I went back in some spots a little bit with a magic eraser and a little bit of IPA to just try to get some of the grit and dirt that was out of it. Not a heavy amount of that, but then mostly just Novus number 2, just to try to go back through it and sort of polish some things out without going past the clear coat. And I've already added in some of the silicone bands, some of them that I actually had on hand that were the right size. I'm still waiting for the other bands to show up. They're supposed to be here today, so if they do, I'll throw them on there. But for now, I think I'm going to go ahead and shift back over to the actual plastics. All the plastics that are sitting over here that came off of the game, I'm going to clean them up, and we're going to do the little trick to flatten them out in the oven. So the first step in flattening out these plastics is very crucial and also very simple. They just need to be cleaned up. Why it's so important is any dirt that gets left on here will most definitely get baked and fused into the surfaces. So just taking some window cleaner here and cleaning it up. All right, so we've got our plastics all cleaned up here now, and so let's get them placed here on the glass. I cleaned the glass too, just like we want to clean the plastics, you want the glass clean. You don't want to bake anything into the plastics because they're effectively just lightly melting these plastics. And let's see, we gotta find an arrangement here where they'll all fit on without overlapping. There'll be a trick to it, I'm sure. Let's see, I might move this around a little more. Find a way where this all fits. Yeah, I think we're there. Oh, no, we're not. Did not see that. Actually, let's move this tight like that. See if we can get this a little better arranged. Yeah, all right, now we're getting there. All right, and I've got my other piece of glass here already cleaned up. It's cleaned on the side that's going down. The outside, it's got a little bit of stuff on it, but. All right, so now got our oven set at about 225 Fahrenheit. So we're going to just place this in here. And we're gonna let that go for, it's gonna be probably about 10 minutes. And then I will pull it out, check it out, see if it's been flat enough. If not, we'll keep on baking. All right, so it's been right at 10 minutes. Let's pull it out, take a look, see how we're doing. All right. Yeah, I can tell right now it needs to go a little more. You can see they're all springing up on me a little. So let's put it back in. I'm gonna go about another 5 minutes. We'll see how it looks. All right, so we've had another 5 minutes go by. I also bumped the temperature up about 10 more degrees at 235. So let's take a look now, see how they're looking. Let's see. I think I'm gonna let it go just a little bit longer. It's probably cooling off too much while I got it out here. All right, just been another 3 minutes. Let's go ahead and take this back out. See how we're looking. I think we're good. The plastics have been just softened enough, and I tell you what I'm gonna do now. Now is the time we just want to leave this alone. Let everything just kind of gradually cool off. I mean, it just came out at 235. They're not super hot, but we're gonna let this cool down here. Probably let it cool for, I don't know, probably about 20 minutes or so, and then we'll take a look at it and see how they look. All right, it's been about 20 minutes or so. This glass has definitely cooled off considerably. Let's see how we look. Set this over here. Yeah, I can already tell. Looks like we have success. And the pieces are mostly cooled off. So now, let's see if you can see that. If I can get in there. Very flat. And these were particularly curvy. Flat as a pancake. It is. Good to go. All right, yeah, this trick, it's sad. It's always worked out well for me. I've not had any problems. The only thing that I feel like I'm still trying to figure out on it is exactly what temperature and how long. It's kind of a judgment call, and it probably depends. Maybe, I was gonna say it might depend on how many plastics you're running and how much heat you're putting in. I doubt that. That's probably a smaller piece. But I ended up at 235 Fahrenheit, and it ran a total of, I think, 18 minutes. I probably could have left it at 225 and gone 20 minutes. But it's one of those things where you don't want to screw it up. So you want to be real careful with it. Just kind of cautiously approach it and just let it cool, and now enjoy the flat plastics. All right, let's move on back down the game and see what we can do next. All right, so getting back to the play field now, we flattened out the plastics, and the other bands have shown up. I'm going to go ahead and put the bands on, get the plastics on, and actually along the way, I am also going to go ahead and swap out some bulbs. We've got a lot of bulbs that have either burnt out or either the socket that they're in has got some issues. And I'm going to go ahead and shift over actually to some LEDs. Now, sometimes folks don't like LEDs because, hey, they're too cold looking. I like going with a lot of the Comet, either they're 2 SMD warm white bulbs or they're bullet bulbs that have much more of a retro look. And it doesn't show here real good in this video because everything, I don't know, just looks a little different than in real life here. But these two that are here on the side are actually just some 2 SMD warm white bulbs, and there's a couple incandescents that are over on the right. But let's see if I flip out the light. Let's see if that'll make a difference. Still kind of hard to really see it, to really appreciate it. But once you get the plastics on, it just really helps to kind of light up the whole area without it looking out of place, sort of out of touch. So that's kind of the goal. So let's go ahead and get everything put together. Changing out bulbs and all the sockets, and most of them have been pretty cooperative, but look at this guy. Man, he is rusted up. I don't know why, because it's not like there's signs of, leaks or fluids or whatever has been on this, but we're going to swap him out with a brand new one. Yuck. I couldn't even fit a bulb down in there. It just would not, the spring and everything, it was just all rusted up, so it wouldn't even take a bulb. Ugh. All right, so I'm getting close with getting all the bulbs swapped out with LEDs. Ended up going that direction, and actually here in the back, I just want to mention this. Some of these inserts, it's kind of common for them just to be kind of a spot where you collect a lot of dirt. And I will take a Q-tip with a little IPA on it and kind of get in there to clean things up, and usually clean up pretty easily. Once you get in there, you gotta scrub it a little bit more, but makes a difference. Once you put fresh bulbs in, you get all the dirt out there. You can actually see it a little better. Imagine that, getting the dirt out. All right, and once I get these bulbs done, then I'm gonna move to the back glass because we got to swap those out too. All right, to get in the back box, at least on this game, and a lot of games that are of this generation, you've got a lever here that will release everything that's on this backboard and allow you to tilt it down. You do have to be kind of careful. Some of the wires will get kind of caught up in things, but once you get this all the way down in this position, it actually gives you access to all the bulbs here. If you need to take the back glass out, you got to pull some screws out of here of a bracket, and then you can kind of tilt it back and lean it out. But from here, we can go ahead and start taking the bulbs out and swapping them out. So sometimes in the back box, you've got some of these bulbs that are down in these little spots that are just kind of hard to get to. And one little trick that I've got, somebody showed me this a long time ago. If you just take a, one of the, plunger tips, it does a pretty good job of just holding the bulbs. That way you can, when you can't get your fingers down in those tight spots, you can at least get that in there, give it a little turn, pull it out, and there you go. The other question sometimes comes up is how many bulbs are in a game? Of course, it's going to depend on the game. In an electromechanical game like this, typically has fewer bulbs than some of the solid state games. And I just counted it on this one. If you count everything in the back box, all these bulbs, there's 47 that are back here. And back on the play field, both with the top and the bottom, all the inserts and then all the bulbs at the top there. Coincidentally, there was another 47 there. So between the two, that's 94. Also the coin door, in this case, there's just one bulb, just for one slot that's populated. So this game, 95. So, typically I think a lot of EM games there's anywhere usually, like 85 to 100 or so. But anyways, we are close to getting the bulbs in. We just got a few more to go, and we will fold this up and fire it up. All right, so we got bulbs all in the back and down here in the playfield. Let's power it up and see how it looks. All right, looks good. Let's go ahead and start a game. Whoops, wrong button. All right. Like I was saying earlier, it is definitely coming alive, improving on some of the issues. There's more that has to be done on the score reels. I'm still going to dig in and kind of re-clean them, not only just the switches, but I've noticed some of the actual mechanics of them still are a little sticky. So we're going to address that. We'll deal with that in the next episode. We're also going to redo the flippers. Haven't done that. We've got all the bands on. Everything else on here is basically completed on the playfield. But we got to redo the flippers, the whole shebang. Put new bats on, new rubbers. I mean, in this case, it's going to be not the rubber, but silicone bands. And the entire, the whole entire flipper mix, including we're going to swap out coils with just a slightly stronger coil. We're going to go with the orange dots. I'm not going to go all the way to the yellow dots, but be just a tiny bit more. But folks, thanks for watching. Next time we will cover all that. I'll also dig into this shooter rod too. I'll show you what it's about, cleaning that thing up. We'll see you guys next time.